What's going on, everybody? This is JR coming back at you. And first of all, a big shout out to my boy Richard Evans for putting me on to do the video. He put me out there for the challenge, so I had to respond. And this is in regards to the recent news that came out of Atlanta with majority owner Bruce Levinson being basically forced out for a racially insensitively charged email back 2 years ago. But Levinson isn't the case here. A lot of people have been asking why there hasn't been that big outrage over Lou Alding and the report that was sent in the email to Hawks general manager Danny Ferry. Well, I want to address three people. Well, first, let's get to the whole lack of outrage. Alright, first and foremost, the reason why is, number one, it's football season. Number two, there are only two names that America cares about. Roger and Goodell. Let's get that straight. Number three, this is an organization, and I say this as the resident Atlanta fan of the sports analyst group, that there's not going to be an outrage here because Levinson is willing to sell his shares of the team. And considering he's been trying to do this now for years, this doesn't surprise anyone. As a matter of fact, it's a very glorious time to be a Hawks fan, if you can believe that. But I want to address three people in my statement as to what's really going on after it's been a few days trying to process this whole situation. I'm going to start off first with Danny Ferry, the general manager. First and foremost, now he came out with an apology basically stating that, and I'm going to read from Michael Rosenberg's article in SI.com. It states here that he was repeating comments that were gathered from numerous sources during background conversations and scouting about different players. Okay. First of all, he said he was reading comments. This isn't a scouting report, or this isn't a glib comment he made, alright, at an office party or things of that nature. Don't you think, for a person whose job it is to make presentations for a living, don't you think it's wise for him to have taken a step back and said, whoa, if a guy's saying on a report this guy has a little African in him, whatever on earth that still means, I don't know, maybe it means he watched too much Coming to America, I don't know. Prince Hakeem, I don't know. But anyway, don't you think Danny Ferry should have been smart enough to realize that the best thing to do was to say, no, I am not going to repeat these words. I'm going to find out who wrote this report, first of all, and distribute it to him. You know, that's the first thing. And why have we heard anything more about that? Now, there are some unconfirmed sources I'm not going to get into, you know, whether or not it's true that the person leaked this or sent this report to him. But why is that the case? Number two, Steve Koonin, Hawks COO. Now, you had an opportunity to really take a stand here and really address this issue. And I know certain organizations have their protocol when it comes to discipline, but what is that discipline? Is it he's not going to draft any more players for a while? He's going to be suspended? What is that? It's up to you to take the stand and be the leader of this organization, which has lacked it now for over 30 years, desperately needs. Finally, and my final comment is the players. How come we haven't heard from the Al Horfords, the Paul Millsaps? You know, if ever was a time for athletes to step up and say something, look at how the Clippers handled it. Chris Paul, he stood up and took leadership. Why are the Hawks players saying anything? You know, if they're reportedly upset in the locker room, don't you think they've been smart enough to stand up and say, hey, you know what, this is not right. We're not going to play for this general manager. Time for these players to stop worrying about their paychecks and start taking a stand for what's best. But my final comment is, really, when are we going to stop and allow these people to make decisions on other people's futures? When? Get it? Got it? Good. I'm out.